Why is Eisenhower's farewell address on January 17th, 1961, so powerful and so prophetic?
It wasn't about his accomplishments. It wasn't a shopping list of what we got done. It wasn't about me, 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 me. One of Eisenhower's greatest qualities was that he was humble. He had humility. And you look back at his history growing up, and it largely comes from his parents. He was in a big family, and there's a great story about he wins the war, and he comes back and is in a parade in Abilene, and the car's going down, and he's waving, and everybody's cheering, and somebody turns to his mom, Ida, and says, "Oh, so are you proud of your boy?" And she says, "Which one?" It's 6 sons. So there was a humbling, aspect of that family. I say my wife is a lot like that. She takes me down a couple notches just to make sure I'm okay. But it was not a list of accomplishments. It was a concern about the future of the country. And when you look at that speech line by line, he took amazing care of how he said it and where he said it. Understand, he was delivering it from the Oval Office. It was in black and white. It was, he wasn't a great fan of the teleprompter. He used it, but he kept his glasses on, and he read also from the paper itself. And then you contrast that with the matinee idol kind of look of JFK 3 days later in that cold day on the inauguration, where he takes off his jacket and he's not wearing a jacket. He delivers this speech that's bold and the future. And the contrast in the speeches were really interesting visually. But years later, if you look back and you think about what happened soon thereafter to Kennedy with the Bay of Pigs situation in Cuba, and the first person he calls is former President Eisenhower, and he flies him to Camp David. And that's that iconic image of them on the cover, walking down the sidewalk in Camp David. And we have the quotes from both the Kennedy Library and the Eisenhower Library, where Kennedy turns as they're walking and says, this is a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. And Eisenhower, in his Kansas smile, turns to him and smiles and said, "Mr. President, I think I told you that 3 months ago."